Welcome to this edition of INN CEO Talks. Joining me today is Anthony Moreau, the CEO of American Eagle Gold, which trades on the TSX Venture under the symbol AE. American Eagle Gold is focused on exploring gold deposits at its flagship property, Golden Trend. The property is located on the Cortez Trend, which is right next door to the Barrick Gold and Newmont Mines Goldrush deposit, home to 15 million ounces of gold. In June, American Eagle Gold purchased the Golden Gate Pass property in the Cortez Mining District in Nevada, and Golden Gate is a contiguous expansion of the company's flagship Golden Trend property, and it more than triples its land package. Anthony, thanks for joining me again. We've got a lot to talk about today, so let's start with the price of gold. And I want to bring it up because since last September, gold, the shine has come off gold. The price has stalled. And it seems as though the market has turned its attention in favor of battery metals like lithium, nickel, cobalt, and, well, let's not forget copper and uranium. So what does that say about the market, and what does it say about gold from your perspective?
Well, the one thing I've learned about the markets is, you always want to buy when people don't think you should. The other markets, all the other metals have been pretty hot, and copper and nickels obviously divested a lot of investor attention over there. But if you look at the price of gold, it's $1,800 US. I think that's very strong price. And I think the value add that our company has, American Eagle Gold, is we're looking for a Mammoth Goliath property deposit, and it's going to be successful whether gold's $1,000 or $2,000. So I'm not worried about where the price is. Obviously, I want the price of gold to go up. It get more attention to the junior market, specifically the junior golds, which cause our price to go up. But long term, I think we're in a very good place. If you look at our stock price, it's down about 20% from when we IPO'd, and there's a lot of reasons for it. I have 5 more reasons. You got investor ADD. They want news right away. If there's no news, they're going to look somewhere else. The broad markets are doing well. Like you said, the other metals are doing quite well. But I think long term, I think we're in a very good position.
You mentioned earlier investor ADD, or attention deficit disorder. Some of them are saying, okay, well, this is the 5th month and still no drilling. How come? Why is it taking you so long to put drills into the ground?
Well, like I tell investors all the time, I could easily have drilled in May or June. And a lot of people do without doing the proper work. The previous owners of this property, I'm not going to name names, you can look it up. They just did some wildcat holes. And guess what? One of those wildcat holes didn't even go on the proper property. It went on Barrick's property. So it shows the kind of stuff that happens if you don't do the proper work. What we're looking here is not for a flash in the pan. We're in a world-class jurisdiction. We're next to one of the richest areas in the world to be mining. We're next to Barrick's Cortez Hills property. And we have to look for an underground deposit. We're looking for a 5 million ounce plus deposit. Drilling is the most expensive thing that you can do. So when you put your investment into the ground, you want to make sure you have the highest probability of success. So what we do is we do things that big boys do, big smart companies like Barrick and Newmont. And we take cues from the oil and gas industry. So we did a seismic survey. We did geochemistry work. We did CSAMT. And by doing this, it's the best way to have a picture of what the underground looks like without actually drilling. So that takes time. It took 2 months to do the seismic and CSAMT. And we finished everything up in August, and we applied for permits August 17th. I'm actually happy to announce we just got news that our permits actually were successful. So now we are able to drill as soon as we can identify a rig.
Great. So one of the other things that investors are, of course, going to be curious about, considering your proximity, to the Goldrush project, is what are your long-term plans? Do you envision building this out yourself, or can you see vending into a major?
Well, short term, I'm just focused on drilling and hitting mineralization. We want to hit into lower plate rocks. Lower plate rocks are the type of rocks where these world-class crown type deposits exist. And from there, we want to vector into some further drilling to hit that ore body that we believe exists underground. If you look at the 4 deposits north, you have Pipeline, you have Cortez Hills, and you have Goldrush. They're all south of each other, about 5 kilometers apart, each of them. And it's like pearls on a string. Pipeline's all open pit, Cortez Hills dual, Goldrush is purely underground. So We know these deposits, they continue moving south. They're on a collision course with us, but what our deposit is going to be, it's going to be underground. So our first focus is hitting on lower plate rock, hitting mineralization, building a resource, and making world-class discovery. I worked at a mining company, a major mining company for a long time, and what I do know is building mines, operating mines. It's a very tough job. Our job is to make that discovery and eventually make the sale and create value for all of our shareholders. I have no plans right now to build.
Yeah. So right now, investors are saying, okay, why is now the time that I should be putting my money into American Eagle Gold?
Well, right now we're at 16 cents, about $8 million market cap Canadian. If we make a discovery, the sky's the limit for the value of our property. So right now, I think it's a great buying opportunity. There's a lot of properties out there in Nevada. A lot of companies, like I said, they don't do the proper work. And a lot of them, what I like to call them, and someone told me that they're called retreads. The properties that Barrick or another company, private equity company had, it probably has 80,000 meters drilled there, has very little opportunity for upside, but it has a resource, probably 600,000 ounces, 1 million ounces, but very little upside. It probably wasn't economic for those big companies. And what it is essentially is a derivative on the price of gold. You're waiting for gold to go up. So that's where your value is going to come as an investor. Our value comes in, and like I said before, our property, if we discover it, it's going to be world class, and it's going to be valuable whether gold's $1,000 or $2,000. So I don't even care where the price of gold goes, although I do want it to go up. What I care about is making that world class discovery and finding the gold. So we want to be proactive. So we're in the right real estate, and we have the right guy to make that discovery. So I'm very confident about our future. And why invest right now? Look, we're $8 million. The sky's the limit. And we're drilling. Yeah. We start drilling in October.
Well, you've got a lot of exciting news that you've shared with us today, and I'm sure you're going to have updates in the future. I look forward to having you back in the coming months to get that update. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks a lot for having me.